My first job was at a little pasta place. I was 15. I was supposed to be a cashier. The boys that were the cooks didn't really like cooking all that much, so they would take breaks and let me do all the cooking, and I loved it. It's my favorite time ever. So what I'm gonna make is a pan-roasted quail, oven-roasted cauliflower, a cauliflower puree, sauteed kale with shallots and garlic, and a sour cherry port reduction sauce. I talked to Dad about dropping out of college and going to culinary school. Went to New England Culinary Institute. It's a 2-year program. It's almost like boot camp. Like, it's definitely the hardest culinary school in the country. And I ended up graduating top of my class there. The year in 2004 that New England Culinary Institute was rated the top culinary institute in the country. I'm gonna mince this shallot so that I can saute it down with the garlic, and it's gonna go into the kale. This is definitely reduced to where I want it. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna add a little bit of balsamic, add a little bit of veal stock to it, let it reduce, and then I'm gonna blend everything in and pass it.
I got my first tattoo when I was accepted to Missouri Southern State College with a full ride soccer scholarship, and then at the last minute I decided to have the soccer ball colored in rainbow colors because I was, gay. I was 17. It seemed really important at the time. My second tattoo is my dad's initials, TLC, Timothy Lee Cochran, and his date of death. He was in an accident almost 2 years ago on July 19, 2007. When that happened, my life changed forever. He was my best friend, person I turned to for almost everything, and all of a sudden he was gone. It just felt like my life was fundamentally different. Like I was almost reborn on that day as another person. It really needed to be recognized. It's something that I see in the mirror every day, and I appreciate thinking about every day. I don't ever want there to be a day that I don't think about it.
This guy, Eric Wilberman, told me if I ever moved to New York that I needed to work for Tom Colicchio. A year later, I decided to move to New York and work for Tom Colicchio. So I ended up at Kraft for my second internship, which was terrifying. My first experience in like a really intense kitchen where you need to do everything correctly every single time. When I moved from New York to Sacramento, I asked around to everyone I knew the best food, and they directed me to the kitchen, and they hired me. And I moved up quickly, became sous chef within about 6 months. I decided to move to San Francisco, and I got a job at Foreign Cinema. It's California fresh cuisine with a Mediterranean accent. All right, so I'm not gonna mince the garlic. So I'm actually gonna slice this garlic whole, and it's gonna have a little time to roast so it mellows out quite a bit. Let the food speak for itself is my food philosophy. Cooking is really satisfying. I know how to cook. It's almost like I'm taking care of people, nourishing people. Food that's very simple, ingredient driven. You give someone a good plate of food that they're not confused by, that is straightforward, that is cooked perfectly to bring out the best flavors in the food that you have. And it's just so satisfying to that person. And I love putting plates of food together, knowing that I'm gonna give it to someone and it's just going to be like soul satisfying. That's what I love about cooking. We are basically to plating. I'm gonna start plating right now. I'm just mounting this with a little bit of butter to make it nice and creamy. Cauliflower puree. Kale down. Finish. Sauce. And that's it. I'm Erin, and I'm the next top chef. I'm gonna be the next top chef.